Hello and welcome to How to Start a Board Game Company from Off the Page Games. I'm Jay Cormier. Thanks for joining us this week. I want to take a look at prepping for GenCon. Now, what kind of GenCon I'm talking about is not going there with your game and trying to sell it and get a booth and all this kind of stuff. This is like way before all that kind of stuff. This is prepping to go to GenCon to start getting the buzz going, start getting people playing and demoing the game. So really all I'm doing is taking the game to GenCon to demo it so some people can try it and maybe start talking about it. That's what I want to do. Now what's funny about this one is that I'm not even going to GenCon and I'm prepping for this. So how this is working out is that the co-designer of this game, Sen Fung Lim, he's going, as well as Matt Kint, who is the creator of Mind Management, which this game is based off of, is going as well. So together the plan is that they're going to go and demo the game and maybe sign autographs or chat with people that come up and everything like that. So that's the plan. However, I wasn't too bright on this one, and my thought in my head was like, oh, you go and register for an event at GenCon and then click it's on the schedule and it's happening. So what I did is I waited a long time in order to do this because I didn't want to fully make the announcement of the title and what the game was until all the contracts were signed and everything was kind of in the bag. And so by the time the contracts were signed and I signed up for it, there was a review process. I'm like, oh, okay, review process. So I still have yet to be able to even announce this happening. Even to this day, right now, I don't have confirmation that this is actually happening yet. So I'm getting a little nervous. Not that it's a huge deal that if it doesn't happen, but obviously I really want it to happen. So first let me show you how I requested the demo at GenCon. You go to the GenCon site and you go submit an event. It comes to this page and you have to just fill in all the detail, like what's the company's name, so my name, what's the event title, and then give a short description of it, and then give a longer, it says optional longer description, but I was told that I needed to provide more information about my game. So I had to fill out more of this. It's not that optional, I guess. Event type, mine's a board game. There's all these other types you could choose from. Game system, I didn't really know what to put here, so I put Mind Management. That's the game system. Which rules edition is number 1. And it's a 2 to 5 player game, 13 plus for age, experience, none, never played before, rules will be taught, materials are all provided, yes. Should the attendees be able to sign up for this event? Yes, they can register for this round without having played in any other events, that's fine. And then you get a preferred date and time, so I'm saying August 2nd at 4 p.m. is my preferred time based on Sen and Matt's availability. And an hour is probably, maybe should have put an hour, but I put an hour and a half just to be on the safe side. And here's my game master. This unfortunately is my old email address. I probably should update it, but this is the email address that's attached to my login at GenCon. And then here's a message to those that register and any website, and here's my actual email for info if people that do register want more information. Is it determined? Do you have any special requests? And every GenCon charges $2 for everybody to attend this. We collect it, and then we have to hand it off to them after the event. And then you click submit the event. So I'm still waiting for this to kind of lock into place. So we assume that this is all going to happen, and magically it still might. Though it might be too late for anybody to sign up or have free time available to do anything about it. But we had a plan as far back as a month ago. Okay, we want to do this. So then we figured out, well, what do we need? And the first 2 things I thought we needed was a new board and some sort of advertisement banner thing that we could put at this location that we're going to be given, which is a kind of a table off to the side to let people know where we are, so it's easier to find. And so we started with I thought the board was a bit more important, and because the board art is pretty generic, and I've been talking about that if you've been watching much of the series. My board art is pretty darn generic. So this is the board that I was always playtesting with for the entirety of the design. Sen and I use this one. I created it using just clip art, and you can see it's not even from the same clip art family. It's just a bunch of nonsense kind of icons, but it's very functional, and you need to be able to identify features from looking at this map. So if you wanted to look at for orange trucks, you could easily see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could see the orange trucks, they jump out, and you could say the same for almost any. The little hamburgers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they jump out at you, and that was very important. But obviously we need to do something that looks way cooler. And so what we did is Matt gave us a few ideas. He said he was going to go with this kind of concept here, with kind of more crooked streets and more detail. And we're like, oh, this is looking pretty cool. So we definitely have a form over function kind of issue here, where we want to make sure that the board is functional, and you need to be able to spot it. So that's our big struggle with this game and the board, because we want the board to look cool and make everyone go, wow, that's a really neat looking board, a lot of maybe Easter eggs hidden around and stuff, but above all, it has to be functional. So this was his first kind of stab at it, and then he gave us even another idea of a colored one, so things are a bit spread out more, maybe showing us a bit of color, and we gave some feedback. And then he came back with this one here. Let me even show you the side by side of this. You see from the starting one to this one, you can see that all the items now, all the little features on here are all mind management related, as opposed to generic clip art stuff that I found that had nothing to do with mind management. Now things on here, if you know the comics series, are all related to mind management. So that's great. This still is just a preliminary board. Let me just zoom in so you can get a little bit more detail here. Matt and I, like it for what it is, and it's going to be way better to show at GenCon during a demo than this kind of yucky board over here. But this is still preliminary. I think we're going to start pretty much from scratch and do a whole new board that's going to be way more Matt Kinty and really allow him to show off more of his art skills than this. He was a bit hampered by the restriction of the function that it needed to have, in the sense that you needed to be able to spot these icons, these features, all over the board at once. So more to come on that, but that's a definite improvement. At least it looks cool. It's hopefully at least a little eye-catching. Now the next thing that we wanted to do was some sort of banner, and so that would go sit at the GenCon table. Now we kind of talked about what it could be, and we didn't want to create a new art just for the sake of that banner, and we thought what would be best would be the box art. That would be cool, but it felt like super early to get the box art already going. But when talking it over with Matt, we kind of just agreed that that would still be the best thing to show that this is a game. So let's take a look at the process we went through for coming up with a box design. This was his first thing he sent me. He sent me 5 concepts. And he had this concept up here of probably Maru, one of the agents, coming in behind somebody who's blindfolded. Looks kind of neat. This one here is a very super close-up of someone who's paranoid and sweating, and somebody in the background who's possibly chasing them. This was kind of going after more of a, I guess, the kind of, have you seen that secret Hitler box where it's got all these icons? It's appropriate for here because it's all these psychic testing kind of icons and symbols that you use when you're doing psychic testing. And that kind of was interesting. And then similar here, but just laid out differently and whatnot. And then the final one was this concept here of a half of a face, and the other half with like a gun and bullets and stuff like that forming out the rest of her head. And the concept is we might even have a sleeve. He's even thinking maybe a half sleeve would slide over this to show other things here. I think the psychic cards and whatnot forming this half the face, and when it slides off, then you see that there's a gun and fire and whatnot. And we all agreed that we like this one the most. And now let me unveil, I think maybe for the first time, the actual box art. Here it is. That's it. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that is amazing. I think this is going to stand out like so much as far as like a board game box. It's so atypical of a board game box cover. Just amazing. So some of the cool things we added here was the quotations around the word game, the psychic espionage game, because it's a complete agent testing and activation kit. You're not paranoid. We're not paranoid. You're paranoid. That's great. The concept is that we're trying to say that this game is actually a recruiting device that mind management is using, so that people that play this game, if they can do well at it, they'll be recruited into mind management. So it's not really a game. I love it. I think it's great. So now we wait to see if GenCon is going to approve our event, and then I'm going to blast it out to everybody that if you want to partake in this demo, come on down. And those that do come to either play the game or even just come by to check it out while it's being played, whether to sit in and listen to the rules as they're explained, or even just to walk by and check it out at any point during the demo. We're getting some postcards printed up that will have the box cover art on it, so you can kind of frame that or whatnot because it's so beautiful. But on the back, it'll have some information and something interesting on it that if you keep it, it will actually have some in-game benefit to you. Literally will have some benefit in the game, this postcard. So you want to probably try to find a way to get this postcard, and we're going to be giving these out at conventions throughout the until this campaign launches. We're going to be giving these postcards out at every event that we can get to. So more on that later. But in the meantime, hopefully that happens. But in the meantime, I wanted to also start to get out some playtesting kits for people that are interested in getting a little sneak peek at it. But we're at the final stages of our playtesting, and so I want to make sure that, you know, getting some blind playtests in, getting people reading the rules and checking it out. And so let me show you here. I've been working on the rules, rewriting them, trying to go into as much detail as possible, adding some images. But mind you, the images I only added for the components. I need to add a ton more images in here. I've added, this is only for people that know the game, two training missions so that you can actually play quicker and with less complicated setups. And this is just text, so this is not even that exciting to go through. And then there's a second training mission. This is, boom, training mission 2, and then tells you what's different about it. And then here is the final game. Here's the full game. Here's what's different about the final game. You get to add these extra things, and that's the end of the game. And then introduces the shift system and a quick appendix. And then what's been great is that I've been getting some feedback already. Let me see where that is. It was, I think, here. So some people have been going through this and giving me feedback on the rules already, which is fantastic. So this is from Jamie Jones, who nabbed the first playtest prototype kit of this. So this is fantastic. So thanks so much, Jamie, for all your feedback on this. Getting some blind playtest feedbacks currently just on the rules. He hasn't even tried it yet, so I'm excited to hear his thoughts, of course. And I announced this here on Facebook. Here's my post where I use this amazing art that Matt made up for a cover that we never ended up going with, and he did the full art for it, and it looks really cool, really interesting. And he said I could use this as just kind of a promo thing, so I use this to say, hey, our first game from my management is in final phase of testing, and it's a hidden moon. Kind of explained it a little bit. Are you interested in doing a print and play? And so we're getting some people responding to that and asking for copies of that, so that's pretty exciting. And so that communication went out this week, getting some people already play testing. Then hopefully the GenCon will happen this coming week. And then after that, I would like to, once GenCon's finished, I'll probably be making a post about the ambassadors and the ambassador program, in which I'm hoping that people will want to sign up for the ambassador program, and we'll get more into detail about that. But it's people that are planning to go to other events and cons in the near future that would love to demo this at a con. And so I'm trying to figure out the processes and all the rules and things that go around that. And that's where my head's at right now. And that's kind of what I'm working on the last little while, and cross your fingers for me for that Gen Con demo. I really hope we can get that out there just to get a few people trying it and talking about it. Just start building that buzz really slowly, really organically, just by getting people to try it. And that's it. So that's it for me this week. Next week I might start taking a look at some manufacturing content and trying to figure out which manufacturer to go with based on some of their kits that they've sent me in advance. So that could be interesting. That's it for me. I'm Jay Cormier from Off the Page Games. Thanks so much.